See, ready to get their instructions from the referee, and this bout will finally get underway. I must tell you, there are those who feel that Benvenuti can't lose in Italy, but Angelo Dundee is not one of them. I've never seen him more confident before a fight than before this one. Round one underway. Benvenuti in the aqua or blue-green trunks, Rodriguez in the white trunks. Benvenuti using the left immediately, or trying to. The crowd will yell. There was no contact there. Benvenuti only hit Rodriguez's gloves with that left. Benvenuti will try to keep drawing Rodriguez into him throughout the fight, in the hope that Rodriguez will be penalized under Italian rules. There was a good left into Rodriguez. That flicking left. It's not a punishing left, but it flicks and it scores. See Benvenuti with the head fakes, trying to save Rodriguez and open him up. Scoring. Benvenuti's left. Again, it was in there. We're a minute and 15 seconds into round one. Middleweight championship bout, live and in color via the satellite. Sports Palace, Rome, Italy. If this crowd is displeased at anything, look for oranges to come into the ring. Other things, too. We have a minute left in round one. Benvenuti using the left and the crowd responsive to it because he did score with it. Lewis may have to get inside, and yet that's what Dundee doesn't want him to do. Keep the blows up. The referee, Domenico Carabalesi, tells the fighters. Half minute left in this, the first round. Left by Rodriguez. Lewis is going to have to figure out how to get to him. We're back at ringside, Sports Palace, round two. Rome, Italy, middleweight title bout. Nino Benvenuti in the blue-green or aqua trunks against Luis Rodriguez. Native of Cuban, living in the United States, the challenger in the white trunks. Crowd yelling as Nino pummels him against the ropes, but doesn't really hurt him, in fact hit him behind the ear. You haven't ever seen a fight crowd, not even in Mexico City, in my experience, like the crowd here in the Sports Palace today. Sitting next to me is Kevin Chuck Connors, former baseball star who never made it, television star who did, movie star who's over here making one, and he says he never heard anything like this in Ebbets Field or Shea Stadium. We're a minute into round two. Benvenuti is scoring again and again with his left. As yet, Rodriguez who was tutored by Angelo Dundee as manager to fight from half distance, which you see him trying to do, has not been able to figure out how to get to Benvenuti. We're almost 2 minutes into this, the second round. The first round, in the opinion of most ringside observers, went to Benvenuti. Remember, 5-point must scoring system. A lot of holding. Action substantially stilled for the moment. Benvenuti in the blue-green trunks. Rodriguez in the white. Red waistband, blue stripes. Coming to the end. There it is. Round 3 is underway. Sports Palace, Rome, Italy. Resetting the fight for those of you who joined us late. Nino Benvenuti, defending middleweight champion in the blue-green trunks, and Luis Rodriguez in the white trunks. First 2 rounds. Hard fought, a lot of scoring by Benvenuti with his left. Hard fought particularly in the first round, I might say. There was a stilling of action in the second round. And Benvenuti, the apparent winner of both rounds, according to most ringside unofficial scores. That any time Rodriguez is in close to Benvenuti, the crowd will yell, trying to induce the referee to caution Rodriguez. You'll also find that any time Benvenuti throws a blow that apparently lands, the fans will scream even if it doesn't. That left did score. That left got in there again. That's the left that's troubling Rodriguez. Rodriguez now pummeling Benvenuti to the midsection. That's the Rodriguez we've seen in the past, a seasoned professional fighter who becomes a windmill on defense. All arms, elbows, shoulders. We're 1:45 seconds into this, the third round. Over 18,000 people in the Sports Palace. Fight coming to you live and in color via the satellite on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Benvenuti has a slight cut above his left eye. Rodriguez came in with a right just now against him. There is a trace of blood, which possibly you can see right there in that picture. We have about a half minute to go in this, the third round. 3 quick left jabs by Benvenuti. Again, the left. Benvenuti's using that weapon as he did against Don Fulma last December in San Remo. He's up against a tougher fighter now. Here's the crowd. They'll look to see Rodriguez moving in. The end of round 3, we're going to stay with the fighters, follow Nino to his corner. Take a look at that left eye, the cut, and see Al Silvani get right to work on it. Nothing serious yet, but any cut over the eye can become very serious because the blood flow goes down into the eye with the threat of blinding the fighter in the eye. Cuts under the eye, as is known to boxing fans, are much less serious. They're closing it up. Now over to Lewis, who appears in good shape. I'll tell you, this guy's a happy fighter. Those of you who missed the pre-fight interview, who joined us late, his final words were, looking right into the camera, "I want to tell all the folks at home, I'm going to sock it to him, baby." So far, he hasn't been doing it. We're into the fourth round now. Don't forget, some day of sports on ABC coming up right after this fight. USC against UCLA. We'll find out who the West Coast entrant will be in the Rose Bowl game. Coming after that Michigan miracle victory over Ohio State. Bo Schembechler should get an award. Out of the cradle of coaches, Miami of Ohio. He pulled off as big an upset almost as Weeb Eubank did. He's out of Miami of Ohio, too. We have 2 minutes left to go in this, the fourth round, where the action has hardly been compelling. As you watch Benvenuti lead with that left, note if you can that his body is angled toward Rodriguez, which leaves him vulnerable to the right. But Lewis hasn't yet really gotten it in there. Cut over the left eye has not yet reopened. "15 rounds. World Middleweight Championship at stake. Benvenuti the defender. Rodriguez the challenger." A warning from the referee to Rodriguez about keeping the head away. That's that butting business. October 4th in Naples, Benvenuti won over an American, Frazier Scott, in the 7th round when Scott was disqualified for butting. Less than a half a minute left in this, the dullest round by far of the fight thus far. We have less than 10 seconds to go in this, the fourth round.
Stay tuned for more Action Network.
We're back at ringside. World Middleweight Championship bout being brought to you live and in color via the satellite. That's the bell for the start of round 5. Round 4, according to all our clocks at ringside, went 10 seconds too long. It's a reminder of what happened in the Foster Kendall fight at West Springfield, Massachusetts last May, when they went 44 seconds too long. Everything happens in boxing. Benvenuti in the blue-green trunks, Rodriguez in the white trunks. Again, a warning to Rodriguez. You'll see that here all the time. In fact, between rounds, Angelo Dundee was telling Rodriguez, stay away, they'll disqualify. Don't go near the guy. But if you don't go near him, how are you going to win? A warning to Nino. This once frenzied, restive crowd has suddenly grown very quiet. Rodriguez tried to use the right there, but did no damage. Minute 15 seconds gone of the 5th round. That cut over the left eye that Rodriguez opened on Benvenuti in the 3rd round has not yet been reopened. Minute left in the 5th round. Not what you would call a busy round. Benvenuti in the blue-green trunks, Rodriguez in the white. World Middleweight Championship at stake. Coming up after this fight, don't forget, USC against UCLA. And that comes in the wake of the stunning Michigan upset over Ohio State. "20 seconds left in a round almost totally devoid of action. The crowd beginning now to show their disaffection. We didn't go away for a commercial as we had planned to for a very good reason. We're running into an oddity here as you watch Benvenuti in his corner for the 2nd straight round. We have had, according to our clock and the clocks of all those around us, a 3-minute, 10-second round. Now, if this obtains for the rest of the fight, we may have a whole new rule in boxing. We may have 3-minute, 10-second rounds, at least in Rome, Italy. In the meantime, we have gone 5 rounds. Ice is being applied to the cut over Benvenuti's left eye. It's a swelling now, really. The cut's been closed. We're waiting for the start of round 6. Now let's follow this clock again. There it is, the bell for round 6. We have gone 5 seconds. We want to see if they can get in a 3-minute round. Benvenuti, the defending middleweight champion of the world, wants to get past this one and fight Bob Foster for the light heavyweight championship. Not particularly advisable, but that's what he wants. 6th round. Live and in color by the satellite on ABC's Wide World of Sports. From the Sports Palace in Rome, Italy. Watch Rodriguez dance around there, and he's got the bone construction of Phil Rizzuto, and he's a smallish guy. But Phil never was a fighter. Great shortstop. Not a puncher. So far in this round, there are no punches either. Minute and a half gone by our unofficial clock. the wake of what you were seeing, it would be utterly foolhardy for me to attempt to dramatize this as an electrifying exchange. This is the 6th round, middleweight championship of the world at stake. Benvenuti in the blue-green trunks, Rodriguez in the white trunks. The fight is doing a lot of dancing, a lot of mauling, a lot of hugging, but very little punching. Well, you're looking at a Benvenuti who was cut just before the end of the round. We were just checking our clock, and they were just about right, but really 2 seconds over, maybe even 3. Hard to understand. In the meantime, they're trying to patch up that cut, which occurred just before the end of the round. And that's a cut that could create a great deal of trouble. It is squarely over the bridge of the nose. That could seep into both eyes if the cut gets reopened.
Stay tuned for Network.
So we move into round 7. I don't think the crowd is aware of that cut problem of Benvenuti's, because the action was so sparse in the prior round and it happened so suddenly before the end of the round. It happened on a short right. Now it's open again, just open again with that succession of quick lefts by Lewis, and the blood is really spitting out over the face of Nino Benvenuti. He is going to be in great trouble unless that can be plugged and permanently plugged. That's the kind of cut that inevitably blinds the fighter. Not a pretty sight to see. Not for any of you, I'm sure, and not for any of us at ringside. In a fight where very little damage has been done up to this point by either party, suddenly a cut renders Benvenuti terribly, terribly vulnerable. Strangely, much of the crowd still not really aware of Benvenuti's problem. We're a little less than a minute and a half into this, the 7th round. Rodriguez wants to keep it, that cut, and keep on it. That's the nature of his business. Benvenuti's blood now all over Rodriguez's chest and shoulders. Remember, this is scheduled to go 15 rounds. Very difficult for Nino as he shakes his head to get the blood out of his eyes. As that left of Rodriguez suddenly begins to land, much more frequently than in the early going. Coming to the end of round 7. Now the crowd is aware of Benvenuti's problem, and they are hoping somehow he can put a stopper on Rodriguez. looking at a desperate Al Silvani. We paused for a moment because everybody around this ringside is puzzled over these slightly long rounds. That one went by various clock estimates, 3 minutes and 5 to 3 minutes and 6 seconds. But the basic point in this fight is that Rodriguez has now taken command. The reason? A devilish cut on the bridge of Nino, or just above it, of Nino Benvenuti's nose, which has caused an excessive flow of blood, which is partially blinding him, which is enabling Rodriguez to score with the left with constancy, as he manifested in the last round, where he had not been able to do it in the earlier going. The bell for round 8. All our clocks are adjusted. It should be 3 minutes. At the moment, that cut is patched up. Nino is changing his basic style, which is that of the cautious fighter, letting the other fighter come to him. He knows he must get to Rodriguez. He must also prevent that cut from being reopened. Middleweight championship of the world at stake, live and in color via the satellite on ABC's Wide World of Sports in the Sports Palace in Rome, Italy. Round 8. Benvenuti, the defending champion, in the blue-green trunks. Rodriguez in the white. And coming up right after this fight, USC against UCLA in another college football classic. Gradually, that cut is being reopened. You see Rodriguez hit that target with that left just a second ago. If Benvenuti can keep Rodriguez from reopening that, he'll be executing a boxing miracle. And if Al Silvani, the cut man, can keep that closed, he'll be executing a miracle. I trust you have seen some of... There you see it. The oranges are coming down. There's another one. I might as well tell you very bluntly that they sell beverages, including alcoholic beverages, in bottles within the arena. And they have been known to throw the bottles. We have a minute left in this, the 8th round. Relatively speaking, Benvenuti has escaped unscathed because while the cut is slightly open, the blood isn't gushing the way it did. There, a good left got in, though. And as Benvenuti turns around toward us, his left eye is closing. Less than a half minute remaining in this, the 8th round. And in fairness, I would have to say Rodriguez has assumed control of this fight, at least at the present time.
Stay tuned.
Round 9, and we apologize that we broke for a commercial before the round ended, but they didn't tell us the round was going to go 3 minutes and 7 seconds, which it did. Half a minute into round 9. Middleweight championship of the world at stake. Nino Benvenuti, blue-green trunks. Rodriguez, white trunks. Red waistband, blue stripes, the colors of the United States, although Lewis is Cuban-born. A roar from the crowd as Nino charged forward. Well, I must say, Rodriguez is not getting to that cut above the bridge of the nose the way he was doing it 2 rounds ago. As we move further along in this fight, the question of stamina will become more and more important. No damage there. No need for the crowd to yell. Oh, the right opened it up. Rodriguez opened that cut up again, and the blood is gushing forth. I trust you can see it. It's coming straight down the nose, though. Not yet going into the eyes. Where a round ago, Nino was charging in. He's reverted to the jab, and he's using it at this moment effectively. But that right lead of Rodriguez came in there strongly. That is Benvenuti's point of vulnerability. The angled body, leaving himself open for the right. A good left by Benvenuti there. It was a right that enabled Don Fulmer to floor Benvenuti in their fight in San Remo last December. Benvenuti waging a comeback here. Oh, we're back in the ring. I was trying to show you an apple which just hit Chuck Connors, my compatriot at ringside. We're back in the 10th round middleweight championship fight. Nino Benvenuti, the defending champion, against Luis Rodriguez, the challenger. Hard to tell why the crowd is yelling. The truth of the matter is the bout has had only sporadic action, and the damage has been done mainly by Rodriguez in the form of that cut over the bridge of the nose, which Rodriguez just clipped with the left and got in a good right against. But Benvenuti did score heavily with the effectiveness of his left in the early rounds and waged a comeback in the second half of the previous round, the 9th round. So the fight would have to be rated as a close fight, and is by most unofficial ringside scorers at this moment. The blood is coming down again. A reminder again, coming up after this bout, USC against UCLA. A good quick exchange there. Rodriguez with 2 lefts, Benvenuti with a left and a right. Less than a minute left by our watch in this, the 10th round of the bout. Benvenuti has done a good job of protecting against that cut, and Al Silvani has done a whale of a job in containing it. At this moment, while there is blood over the face, it is not gushing the way it did earlier, and therefore may look to you viewers a lot worse than it presently is. We're very close to the end of the 10th round. Benvenuti against Rodriguez, Sports Palace, Rome, Italy, middleweight championship of the world at stake. And I've just been talking with Angie Dundee and with others as we pick up the action. There is a rule, you know, that when the referee issues a caution or a warning under Italian boxing rules, the clock is stopped. But he has not been doing that in every round, and we remain puzzled by the consistency of the over length of the rounds. Very quickly, the cut is reopened on Benvenuti's face, as you can see, and the blood is streaming down. Now, it may be that the referee has stopped the clock. Now, presumably during that period, the clock is stopped under Italian boxing rules, which could make a round more than 3 minutes. But he has not been doing that, as those of you who've watched this fight know, in every round. And certainly you don't stop the clock with every clinch, because you'd have 5-minute rounds. Oh! There it was! He caught him with the... Oh, he isn't... What a comeback by Benvenuti! He wins by an 11th round knockout! Rodriguez came walking into him. I am getting up into that ring. What a superb comeback!
In New York, as we look again while Howard Cosell is trying to get into the ring at the action in the 11th round. There's Benvenuti with his back to it. It happens very quickly. Benvenuti, face covered with blood, threw the left hand in there, a stunning left hand that absolutely flattened Luis Rodriguez. It was a one-punch knockout if you ever saw one. The hands of the Italian fans waving in the air, the referee calling it all off.